Young people, a lot of men say to me, especially like, what's fun? And I'm saying, doing what you're supposed to do and fulfilling your duty and being proud of yourself is fun. That's the only fun you need. You don't need the fun of trying to chase all this garbage and this hedonism and this black hole. That doesn't lead anywhere. It only ends badly. And I think that's also one of the problems with Western society, where the youth are obsessed with fun. I'm bored. I want fun. They're also selfish. They're also self-obsessed with how they feel. This teaching a whole society and teaching a large contingent of the youth that how they feel plays paramount over the world. If you feel sad, that's all that matters. Not, well, I feel sad, but it doesn't matter because I'm doing the right thing. No. What matters is how you feel right now. And when you have a whole contingent of the youth obsessed with only being happy, I think this is one of the largest reasons they can psyop them so easily into doing insanity. But I think we're designed to struggle a bit. Because the closer you are to struggle, the more sensible you are. Also, if you meet somebody who's had a hard life, they seem to be pretty wise. When you speak to these liberals or these morons, they've had very easy, soft lives. So I think humans are supposed to struggle a bit. It's the age-old adage. I know it's overused, but hard times create good men create good times, and the good times create a bunch of weaklings, and they mess everything up. These people have had too easy lives for too long, and none of them know any struggle at all. And they're going to destroy society en masse because they've never had any kind of difficulty in their life. What is life without difficulty in the first place? Some people are so basic and so vaporous and so thin that ChatGPT could talk the same kind of garbage they talk. Unless you have some suffering to anchor to, how can you have any kind of personal brand at all? Maybe I'm just talking from my own experience because my brand is built on pain and suffering, and maybe I'm trying to cope my way for having all the bad things happen to me that have happened to me. But if I didn't have them all, I don't know what I'd talk about. But what would I talk about? I have a fast car. But the coolest thing about me having a fast car is I grew up with absolutely nothing. The coolest thing about me having a fast car is that they tried to take it off me and threw me in a dungeon. The coolest thing about me having a fast car is when I'm gonna get back in it after they failed to seize it off me when I was on an Interpol red notice for garbage. That's the cool part of it. Yeah. Go suffer and tell people all the lessons you learn along the way. And people will respect you knowing that you've been through something which is difficult. Respect has always lied on the other side of fear. The reason we all watch the big boxing match and have so much respect for the men who get in there is because it's scary to do. Respect lies on the other side of fear. So people are going to respect you if you do things that they'd be scared to do themselves. And then they're going to say, well, I don't want to go through that. Let me at least try and get the lessons from it. And he's gone through it, so I can learn from his experience, or I can learn from his mistake. Perhaps my whole life is not about trying to find comfort, it's trying to find challenges, and it's trying to find stories. Even in jail, my brother and I kept saying this is probably the best story, one of our best ever stories. If you were to say to me right now, Andrew, do you want to spend a year living in comfort and flying around the world and sleeping with girls and doing whatever, or do you want to spend a year in a jail in Mongolia? I'd probably choose the jail. Maybe I'm nuts, but for me, it's all about the challenges. It's not about the comforts. That's what I'm interested in, and I want to have stories to die with. I like a stormy ocean. I don't want calm. I like big waves and chaos. I want a chaotic life. I want 4 businesses and 8 girlfriends and problems and stress and that chick found out about the other chick. And I need all this chaos because that's where I find enjoyment. There's a lot of people who complain about the bad things that happen in their life, not understanding that without the bad things, you'd have no life at all. You need all of the bad things. You need the mental struggle. You need to go through things which you regret. If you've never regretted any action you've ever taken, how can you sit and make a intelligent decision for the future? You need to sit and say, well, I felt the sting of regret for X. I don't want to feel the sting of regret for Y. So that's what life is all about. People think that life is just the good times. And this is the massive misconception. People think being in love is holding hands and I hold hands and we cuddle in bed. I love them. Love is the whole spectrum. Love is missing them. Love is breaking up with them. Love is the whole circle. There's no up without down. Anything that has the ability to emotionally affect you positively has the ability to emotionally affect you negatively. I was broke for the longest time. And that's when I actually became the person I am. I don't think money changes you. I think money amplifies you. I think if you're a real man and you get rich, you're a good man. If you're a pussy and you get rich, you become worse than ever. You become, like we talked, a weak, dictatorial, insane, evil person. You need all of the character building, bad times, being broke. You need all that before you're rich. The worst thing that can happen to you is you get rich at 19. If you look at anything that builds a man into a man, there's a degree of suffering. It's usually the things that made you the best version of you are usually the worst things that happen to you. life as a man is pretty shit, and you're going to feel shit